Hi, my name is Quinn McElhenny. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about wind power, stuff like the history of it, jobs created by it, pros and cons of using wind power, its efficiency, and some other stuff. So the history. By 200 BC, like simple wind-powered water pumps were being used in China, and windmills with woven reed blades were being used to grind grain in Persia and the other Middle Eastern countries. By the 11th century, people in the Middle East were using wind pumps and windmills exclusively for food production. American colonists used windmills to grind grain, pump water, and cut wood at sawmills. So, windmills were being used for many things long before, at least before I realized they were being used. I thought they were more of a new invention. But in the late 1800s and early 1900s, small wind electric generators like turbines were widely used. And when power lines were built to transmit electricity to rural areas in the 1930s, wind pump and small turbine use actually began to decline. So that could be why, at least many people, much like myself, think that it's a newer invention. So pros of the method. Wind power is very cost effective, costing between 4 and 6 cents per kilowatt hour. There's no air pollution created like power plants that use coal or natural gas. Wind turbines don't produce any atmospheric emissions that cause acid rain or greenhouse gases. And over the past 10 years, wind power capacity has increased by an annual average of 30%. And some more pros. As long as the sun shines and the wind blows, wind energy will be able to be produced and utilized. Wind is actually a form of solar energy because of the wind being produced that are a result of the atmosphere heating because of the sun, the Earth rotation, and the Earth's surface irregularities. Wind turbines can be built on farms or ranches, which will then benefit the economy of rural areas. Rural areas are some of the best sites to harness wind energy, and farmers can still work the land since turbines only take up a fraction of the land. And I know around where I live, 'cause I do live in a rural area, we do have a lot of wind turbines around here. So yeah, they're definitely in rural areas. Okay, so some cons of the method of wind energy. There's a high initial investment cost than compared to fossil fuel generators. So that can be kind of hard if you don't have the money right away. Um, and depending on how energetic a wind farm it is, it may not be cost competitive. So again, like if it's in like a bad area for wind farming, it's not gonna create that much energy. Turbines may cause noise and aesthetic pollution, impacting the way local people may feel about putting them in. Some people think that they look ugly and they don't want to have to see them when they're looking out um, outside. Turbine blades may impact local wildlife. Birds have been killed by flying into blades they wouldn't have known to be there. So that is definitely a downfall, killing the birds. So the efficiency of wind energy. Um, Efficiency refers to the amount of energy that is extracted as a fraction of the total energy available. So modern wind turbines produce energy about 70 to 85% of the time, which I mean really isn't that bad considering what they need to be going. And because of factors such as friction, wind turbines only have an efficiency rating of 30 to 50% of power output. So, I mean, not that great, but it's still, pretty good. Oh, and then I have this little picture down here showing the energy efficiency of different types of energy. And you can see like wind is definitely the most efficient out of all of these, coal being the least, um, and so on. So, how available is the resource of wind? Wind energy is rarely available in most areas in the world, and in fact is one of the most available energy sources in the world. The power that is available in the wind depends on the wind speed, density of the wind, and the amount of turbulence in the wind. And these things can vary depending on the altitude and the temperature that the wind turbines are in. And the placement has a huge effect on the amount of energy produced also. Like I said, if it's in a poor area, that for wind production, it's not going to be good. But if it's in a rural area, those are typically better. Wind turbines don't work very well near trees or other building because they block some of the wind. And, well, if the wind's blocked, then how are they going to produce energy? And here I have a picture of wind resource potential in different places of the United States. So you see over in Pennsylvania, we have a lot of brown, which is, marginal. It's okay. We have some fair spots and some good areas, but we don't really have any excellent or outstanding. Um, those are more on the other side in the middle of the country. So how does wind become energy? By using a turbine. Wind power converts kinetic energy that is found in the wind to generate electricity or mechanical power. This is done by a large wind turbine, usually consisting of what is called propellers. Turbines can be connected to a generator to generate electricity, or the wind used as mechanical power to perform tasks such as pumping water or grinding grain. As wind passes the turbines, it moves the blades, which spins the shaft, um, and then each blade rotates about 3,600 times per minute. So it does, produce a good. And then over here in the corner, I have a little picture of the process of the wind turbines and how they're used. So how expensive is it to implement wind energy production? A machine needed to power a large home, usually like a 10 kilowatt machine, costs about 50,000 to 80,000 or more to install. So like I said, it is a really high upfront cost, but it would definitely pays off in the end, I think. And the total cost for installing a commercial scale wind turbine varies due to factors such as number of turbines ordered, cost of financing, construction contracts, location, and many other factors. Um, so the cost of utility scale turbines cost range from about 1.3 million to 2.2 million per megawatt. Most commercial scale turbines installed today are 2 megawatts in size and consist of about 3 to 4 million when they're installed. Okay, so how much is wind energy being used now compared to in the past? So as I said in the beginning, wind energy has faded in and out throughout history. Like I said, when it declined in the 1930s, um, but it has gone up again, which is good, and that's why we're seeing them more often now. Oil shortages in the 1970s caused the U.S. to look for alternative sources of energy. The amount of U.S. electricity generated from the wind was less than 1% in 1990. And as of 2017, the amount of electric energy generated from the wind has increased to 6%. So still not, crazy, but we're definitely increasing. Okay, so jobs that are created by wind energy. Um, Currently, America has 500 wind manufacturing facilities, which support 50,000 jobs. Jobs supported by wind energy include services such as manufacturing, and transportation, installation, and maintenance. And by 2050, it's expected that 600,000 jobs are to be supported by the wind energy industry. As the industry continues to grow, demand will accelerate for workers who can develop, construct, operate, and maintain wind projects. America will need workers up and down the supply chain to manufacture and assemble turbine components and provide financial, legal, and other support services. So there's definitely a lot of room for job opportunity here. And some fun facts about wind energy. The blades rotate anywhere between 15 and 20 revolutions per minute at a constant speed. However, they do vary with wind speed. Wind turbines can carry energy for about 20 to 25 years. Over their lifetime, they will run continuously for as much as 120,000 hours. A wind turbine can have as many as 8,000 different components to it. Blades for wind turbines are on average 180 feet long. And turbine towers average about 280 feet tall. Right. And that's it. But here's my works cited. And thank you for listening and watching.